Brenda Hawthorne has ruined my $3,200 shopping door 3 times. For the 4th time in a month, she has ruined her own $47,000 running board. The crusty mustard crust under my shoes told the whole story, but this time I saw her on camera. There, the HOA president and self-appointed neighborhood queen, standing behind her silver running board, was running through what she thought was my delicate wooden door for another charge. My mouth filled with the sweet metallic taste of disgust as I watched her gun down at 40 km/h, completely unaware that my new door wasn't the mustard board she had ruined every time. This woman thought she could just drive through my property, using my door like a tissue. Little did she know she was about to drive straight down the most expensive driveway of her life. If your neighbor keeps driving through your property, please leave a message. Where did you see this? My name is Jack Kowalski. 6 months ago, I thought the worst thing that could happen was a man losing his wife to cancer. Turns out I was wrong. The worst thing that could happen was an HOA princess deciding that your grief therapy should be coordinated with her Pinterest board. But I'm moving on. 3 years ago, pneumonia took Sarah. After 27 years of marriage, she disappeared within 6 months of my passing. I was holed up in a house that still smelled of her blue hibiscus, wondering what I was going to do with the rest of my life. At the time, Frank's uncle's lawyer was talking about the property, the 12-acre jade plant, the perfect 1952 rural landscape, and a more peaceful existence than I had ever known. The worst part was that some developer had built McMansions around Frank's property in the 1990s. But that's the coolest part. My peaceful existence was recorded in 1952, decades before the first HOA princess planted her first ornamental radish. I bought 6 rescue pigs, not for compliance but for kindness. After Sarah died, I couldn't eat my server because I cared about living things. They're therapy animals, not livestock. And then I met her queen. Imagine I was there on a bright October morning when this peach-colored disaster hit my driving profile and shoe shine, something that could destroy silver. Brenda Hawthorne, HOA president and the city's absolute queen of approval. This woman looked like a factory-installed tool. "Mr. Kowalski," she called, extending a hand that had clearly never touched anything but Iranian cotton. "Welcome to the next room," she said, sounding threatening to me. "I have some information about your farming." She looked at my beef as if they were running a coal laboratory. The morning air, infused with fresh bacteria, didn't seem like her list of approved spices. I maintained my dignity, showed her the moving documents, explained the legal situation, and even offered to build a nicer door. I spent 3,100 hours making a precious paper cover, hand-polished iron sheets, like strawberries, like honey, like drums. Brenda examined it as if I were giving her a dead fish. How rude. That should have been my first thought. She didn't want to accept. Look, Brenda lives in an 8,000 square foot corridor. To her vanity, every blade of grass commands attention, every petal feels like it's wrapped in a scarf. Her silver chest gleams like a weapon, and rumor has it she's selling her 3-story house until the HOA passes some new law that increases property values fantastically. For Queen Brenda, my pitiful cattle and sheep business was not just a tearful agony, but a direct attack on her real estate empire, when someone threatened Brenda's money, promising death. The first attack came one weekend morning in September. I was in the kitchen, enjoying a cup of coffee, when I heard the distinct sound of a conventional tire pushing across the field. Through my window, I watched the Queen start up again, then slam into my beautiful door with a chain as if she were tearing through paper towels. The sound of the grass roared like gunfire. My $3,000 craft brand had been brutally abused like a priceless asset. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, to examine the crime. Brenda sat in her sleek SUV, the engine humming quietly, looking at me with the same smile on her face as she passed through the fan and said, "What are you doing?" "Good morning, Brenda," I called. "Looks like you missed a tire." Unfazed, he pushed the tire back and walked away, leaving me standing in the trash by my old door. That's when I realized this wasn't just a neighbor's disagreement. This was a fight. I was about to teach a giant princess some old dog skills she hadn't learned from her Wedge Academy, if I thought Brenda's door trash was her switch.